kind of circling back to where I think Chris Albert may have been instigating Higgins. Listen to this.
Yes. Yeah, so I think at some point he said, who's there? And I said, my brother Brian. I said, Brian. And he said, your brother Brian? I said, yeah, Brian and Brian Higgins are there. And he said, where's your brother Kevin? And I said, I have no clue.
So here he's talking about John O'Keefe texting him earlier in the night, all their text exchanges. Chris is like, yeah, so that's what this is referring to.
Something.
Kind of.
LOL something. LOL something.
Right. I'll just pause it. So here, again, this is seconds before the video prior where Higgins grabs or yanks at, Chris Albert yanks at Higgins' arm. And again, I don't know if you can see my cursor. If not, I'll explain it. So you obviously, here Higgins, Albert, and here is Chris Albert. Now, Chris Albert picks up a puffer jacket from the bar stool and he gives it to Jen McCabe here. And that's kind of, in my opinion, how you what follows. They chat. Just watch closely. Don't worry about Higgins or Albert. Look at Chris and Jen, which are, unfortunately, behind the friggin' timestamp. So don't worry about these two goons. Here's Chris Albert, picks up the puffer jacket. That's Caitlin Albert in the white. And he passes it, here, look. Passes it over to Jen. Jen chucks it on. Everyone says their goodbyes. Now watch, Higgins is ready to go. Watch that. This is, again, shows it better than the last video. Higgins is ready to walk out. Watch again. He's about to walk out. Chris Albert's up to something. Higgins is like, all right, cool, my hood's up, I'm going, see yous, no worries. Now Chris Albert then pulls his arm. Right now. Wait a second, mate. Aren't you going to talk to John about the shit with Karen? Okay. Now, again, going on the susness of Chris Albert, 10 minutes later, after the Higgins and Albert and co have left the bar, what's actually like 12, nearly 13 minutes later, this is where you've only got Chris Albert, Matt McCabe, Jen McCabe, Karen, the Kolokithises, John left. This is Jen. Hopefully you can see my cursor. If not, under the 15 is Jennifer McCabe. Here with the beanie on is Chris Albert. Behind Chris Albert is John, of course. Over here is Matt, Mr. Kolokithis, and I think Karen. Oh, hang on, let's play it. Maybe the girls have already walked out, or they're doing that now. They're standing over to the left, sorry. Yes. But Jen is standing here, worried about what John's doing. Chris hangs about, sculls a beer. He's so gross. John stands there, finishes his beer, watching the girls. He finishes this beer. This is important. Hear that there's much communication between Chris and John here, but it's really hard to tell. John moves over to the table, the bar table, the high top, grabs a drink, the famous cocktail glass, the rock glass. Chris Albert puts his hands up, walks away, doesn't say anything to John. John then grabs a drink, looks left and right as if that's nerves to me. Nerves and like, what's going on? I don't know what to do. I'm awkward. The girls, like Karen's just walked out with the girls. Okay, I might as well follow them. So, I don't know. I could be completely overthinking that.